Carl Jung, a famous American psychologist, said, until you make the unconscious conscious, it will guide your life and you will call it fate. When I read this quote, it hit me super hard because being 27 years old, I feel like my whole life has just been kind of meandering through time, directionless. And ironically, I think so many people do the same things. You hear people when they're older talk about, oh, I stopped making plans when I was young because things just kind of happen anyway. Things just kind of never goes according to plan. They just kind of get pulled in any direction possible. And it's ironic that people like Benjamin Franklin say most people die when they're 25, but we just don't get around to burying them until they're 65. So I don't like that. I don't want to die when I'm 27, when I'm in my 30s. I don't want to check out. I want to live a meaningful life. And I don't want to lie to myself. I want to be honest about my goals, passions. For yourself, do you feel like there's been a time in your life you had a goal, you had a dream, but you had to stuff it away? You had just had to pack it away because it was almost causing you too much pain to think of it, to have it in your awareness, in your mind. That you just had to apply energy to pushing it away and ignoring it and then lying to yourself, saying that, just trying to look the other way, that you didn't do that. Self-deception, right? We do this in other areas of our lives. There's a great book by Robert Trivers called, I think it's like the Way of the Fool, but it talks about self-deception and The Folly of Fools by Robert Trivers. We lie to ourselves in multiple areas of our lives. And when it comes to goals, when it comes to dreams, desires, we lie to ourselves. So what do you actually want? And maybe thinking, what is this setup? Forgive the roughness of it, but this is my push. I don't want to say push. This is me getting serious about my goals and my vision. And for the first time in my life, I feel like I'm making progress. First time in my life, I feel like I have allowed my feet to sink deep through prejudice, through opinions, through different frames of society, of other people, perhaps your parents. I love my parents. That's not the point. But there's just as Thoreau says in his book, Walden, you kind of plunge your feet through, almost like if you're standing in a swamp and you have to kind of push your feet through that kind of top layer of like this organic slushy matter. It's really gross if you guys have ever walked in a swamp. And you just kind of push your feet until you plant it on the rock bed of the lake, something sturdy. And so many people in life are just floating away, allowing the river to carry themselves away. This is me planting my feet into the rock of reality, into truth, into science, and finally getting a grip. Okay. Finally getting clarity on where I'm at and what I want to do. So I don't have an agenda for this video, but I just wanted to go over this and tell you guys a little bit about it. This is kind of where things happen this is how I categorize my life. I think for everyone, there's different domains. They like to do it, separate it, in different ways. This is how I like to do mine. Health, wealth, love, happiness. Plain and simple. And then from each of these, we have different kind of branches. So I have money management and business, coming from wealth, from health, exercise, diet, recovery, for love, dating, friends, family, for happiness, spirituality, art and music, and fun. And I'm sure there's Christians in the comment section. Christ should be centered. This is just for me, just trying to figure this out. Okay, I get it. All right. One thing that I'm wanting to communicate with this is this is one plane. So this is actually, give me a second. This is a three-dimensional object. So this is interesting. Everyone's visual. All right, you have an occipital lobe. You know, you hear people talk about, oh, I'm a kinesthetic learner, da 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 da. We're kind of all of it in various ways. This wealth, love, happiness is this. All right. And the reason I made it 3D is because it demonstrates the other factors involved with this. So you think of building a house on sand, building a house on the rock, as Jesus says. Having solid foundations. All these areas are built on foundations and principles in your life. Whether it's unconscious or conscious, you are operating on principles, and I can guarantee you 99% of people are unaware of these principles, of these things guiding their lives. So principles, and then we have kind of this bottom layer. If this is resonating with you, there was an amazing video by a multimillionaire, Sam Ovens, talking about this. He says, I think it's called Decoding the Billionaire Mind. We're like talking about the same thing. Principles, and then one layer deeper is beliefs. All right, this is where it gets a little spicy. Okay. That's what this page is for. I believe in internal family systems. It's this psychology concept of all of us are we essentially have like a group. This is metaphysically speaking, okay? I don't think there's like an alien or da da da. All right, this is just metaphysical. I think we're composed of different parts of us. And the chatter in our minds are these different parts not talking, but like expressing their needs for certain things. So whenever you feel very conflicted, usually it's one part of you that is kind of conflicting with another kind. I find these parts come out of trauma. So if you had a very traumatic experience, almost part of you is frozen in time in that. There's a lot of counselors that talk about this. This is not my area of expertise, but it is extremely important. I would encourage everyone to do what's called a trauma timeline. Look through your entire life, identify the biggest moments that have shaped you, and then go back and figure out what parts of you were essentially there during those moments. So the interesting part about this is this will totally dictate your life on multiple levels. It doesn't matter if you are even unconsciously. That's the craziest thing about this is these foundational layers, like principles, and then below that, like this will dictate your life, and you won't have any idea. Okay, I just came up. This happened a couple days ago. I had the revelation, and I love guys. All our beliefs are learned. When you were a baby, all right, you're a clean slate. You have to learn all the beliefs that you have. Okay, so a big one for me was money is scarce. All right, that is a learned belief. It's not reality. It is a learned belief. And I realized when I was in elementary school, I was dreaming of the future, and I was thinking of, man, what do I want to be when I grow up? And I just said, I set the bar so low for myself because this belief was already rooted in third grade. I was already limiting what I was expecting myself in third grade. I just said, on a Monday at 2 p.m. when I'm 40, I want to decide what I do. That was my dream. Like that was seriously my dream. Like I just want to decide what to do with my time. Like talk about setting the bar so low. But by the time I was in third grade, I already believed that. But the reason I was able to unlearn this belief was a year before I didn't have money to buy a toy. And so what I do, I went outside, I set up a table, I sold some of my toys, and then I bought the toy that I wanted. And I didn't have to think about it. I didn't have to learn sales. I didn't have to set up well, forget all the legal implications of like paying tax on on that, like setting up an LLC. I didn't know any of that, and I was able to make money, and I was able to get the thing that I wanted, and I forgot about it. It was like that was true. Like if I wanted money, I just set up a table, went outside, and I got it, and that was my reality. But then I learned from the people around me, from all this, that money is scarce. Right? We learn these beliefs, and you have no idea how much power they have over you until you make the unconscious conscious. So think of that for yourself today. I want to do more videos on this. There's so much more that I want to get into with, I'm going to have like a future self either somewhere and kind of put the different thoughts, feelings, and actions that person will have. Great little video for you guys. Bob Proctor. He is Bob Proctor. I think he recently passed away. Self-help, I don't want to say guru, but he had this great 20-minute video on YouTube about self-image. And essentially, what separates those people that achieve what they want in life and don't is the people that do have a very, 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 very clear image of the person, of the thing they want to become. Not necessarily just the things, but what you have to do, what you have to be, what you have to think in order to be that person. I would encourage you to think of that. Excuse me. Be thinking of your limiting beliefs. Start to listen to the chatter in your mind. Start to take that third person perspective. In American culture, it's tough to do this. And honestly, I didn't get this. I think the first step is building an awareness. And the way you build awareness, for me, was through meditation. And we don't have to get weird. We don't have to like astral project. Okay, we don't have to float. All right? We don't have to lose our faith. Okay, guys, chill out. We just have to focus our attention on something as simple as a breath. And that ability to focus, the ability to kind of train your mind to come back to the same thing, will give you the ability to, in the moment, in the heat of the moment, when you're kind of going throughout your day, to be able to take a third person view of yourself. And that is a start to so much, to this entire journey. It's just becoming aware of it. My story is I've had moments where just by accident, I was kind of able to enter that frame of mind where I had the ability to really, really, really see myself from that perspective. And it changed my life. So make the unconscious conscious in your own life. I love you guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace.